Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen Netapak. It is Friday and it's time for your favorite show. I know it's my favorite show, but come on. At this point, it's your favorite show too, Tea and Magic. Every Friday, we stream this show in the Magic Grove. You can find out where to watch that live at themagickgrove.com. That's Magic with a K. And if you're watching this in our Facebook group, welcome Magic Grovers. Some of you are here every single week, and I absolutely love it. I have an amazing guest with me that I have just been dying to have on the show this week. Pamela Chen is the creator of the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, Witchling Academy Tarot, Owl Tarot, and Crystal Magic book coming to Llewellyn Worldwide. And she's also the co-founder of High Magic Practitioner certification and High Vibe Witchery 30-day experience. So she is a tarot creator, teacher. She teaches magical creatives how to tap into their energy, reprogram their subconscious, and really create the most powerful, as you said in your own words, sparkly self. So hello. It's so nice to have you here.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Magical Grove. Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited for today to talk about magic because, you know, a lot of people don't really talk about magic.
Right.
So excited. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what the show is all about. I mean, we have so many different people from so many different backgrounds. Sometimes we're talking about sensitivity. Sometimes we're talking about food. It's all magic. But what I love about today is the topic is high magic. So we are actually going to be diving into magic. And there aren't a lot of guests that can have that conversation. And this is what you teach. And you guys, by the way, I'm going to link to all of this. She has an incredible Facebook group that you absolutely have to follow because you're going to learn so much about her. So first of all, it is called Tea and Magic, and we just had this conversation. You are going to recommend a tea to the group. Yeah, and no worries about anything else, but you're going to recommend a tea to the group because I'm sure that you're like me, I feel like all witches are tea drinkers, right? It's kind of like goes with the territory.
So I didn't know I was supposed to I didn't read, right? I didn't read. Kristen should have sent it to me telepathically because I might have gotten it, but I didn't read it. So I don't have my tea. I have a lot of plants. A tea I would suggest is actually, it was a magic money tea. So when we do our yearly business meeting with me and my business partner, we usually brew the tea and we create like a little money ritual, right? To bring in money for the year. And the tea, she's on Instagram. I was trying to find it. If I can find it, I'll send it to Kristen. But it's Magic Money Tea. And the tea is really tasty. I don't know what's in it, but there's a lot of stuff in it. You can check it out. And you actually put, I think they come with a green apophyllite or something, or a green calcite. And you can actually put the crystal inside the tea. So, and then you drink that and you kind of make a little bit like a ceremony out of it, right? Like really honoring your money, really honoring that money energy and your connection with money, and you're physically taking it inside your body.
I love that. And it's clear that the way that you do your business, because we're going to talk about that in a minute as well, that you not only teach magic, but you live magic, and every part of your life, that magic, that power sounds like it's really embedded into every single day and all that you do. And that is in part, aside from your incredible talents, why you, I believe, are successful, because you live that magic that you're teaching people, and you are teaching people how to be that successful as well, which is so inspiring to so many people. Like, raise your hand, guys, who doesn't want to drink money magic tea? Like, we're going to get that recipe. So I just want to show you guys, I'm just doing a chamomile today because I had this Kundalini experience, but this is in honor of you. I've got the tarot deck. You guys know, if you see my Moon Magic videos, I use this deck all the time and give you credit. So I've got my tarot deck and I've got my Yes Queen unicorn mug. Yes. These people know that I actually have a collection of unicorns. So I'm obsessed with unicorns. That's probably how I found your deck and how I found your group. So let's start with that, because we talked yesterday a little bit about how you got into magic and how you got into this whole world. And you had mentioned that it was through creating this tarot deck. Could you just walk us through that story for our
Sure.
audience?
Yeah. So actually, really how I got into magic was lucky for me when I grew up, my family was Buddhist. So,
Mhm.
Buddhism is kind of magical. Like they have so much superstitions and they believe. I think that's the main thing. Like anything can happen. They believe in this. And so I always had like an open mind for stuff. And when I actually moved to Vegas from
Oops, I think we have a little bit, we were just talking about this a minute ago. If you can hear me, you froze for a second, but it's interesting because we were just talking about this a minute ago about how we have such crazy high energy and it froze. So let me see here if I can get this video going. Let's see. We're just gonna give it a minute, guys. I love this when two highly energetic people get into a
Oh,
room.
I'm back.
Yes,
Hi,
there you
everybody.
go. I was telling them we
I
were
heard
just
you.
talking about this. Yeah, and what did I say? Knock on wood. I was like, that never happens on the show. So of course that's why I did.
Let's put another crystal on this.
Yes, and apologies, you guys. We are both so high energy that might happen again. But you know what? That's technology and that's magic. But
Yeah.
you were telling about the story about when you were younger and your parents are Buddhist, and Buddhist is magical, which I love that. Yeah.
And so really, but everything really started when I moved to Vegas. And that's when I just felt, I mean, I guess I had my midlife crisis when I was 20. Like, I just felt like there was something missing in my life. Like, I didn't know what it was. Like, my life was great. Like, I had a job, I was working, I was partying, like, it was good. But just something was like missing. And I didn't want to be like just this, right? So then I went to my first holistic fair, and that's when I found my mentors, right? My Reiki teacher, my Reiki master teacher, my psychic development teacher. And from there, it just kind of like rolled on. And actually my business partner now, and Lisa Robertson, she's the one who actually helped me with the deck. She is my business partner. So it kind of all like led. For the crystal unicorn deck, I wasn't going to sell it. It was just something for me. Like I wanted to create a unicorn deck because there wasn't one out there, and I love pastel. So I contacted Lisa, who I haven't spoken to for a long time, and I was like, hey Lisa, can you help me get this deck together? Because I knew that she just published her deck with Llewellyn. And so she's like, yeah. And as she was looking through my stuff, she actually suggested me to start selling it. So I'm like, okay. And, before then, what I was trying to do my business, right? Everyone's trying to do a business. They're on,
Yes.
entrepreneurship, right? And nothing really clicked. Like when I got into crystals, that kind of clicked, right? I kind of expanded a little bit more, right? My energy, my business, my money expanded a little bit more. So I knew I was on the right path. And then when this happened, it just all kind of whoosh, like when I said yes, okay, I'll create this deck for me. Yes, okay, I'm going to share this deck with everybody. And then when that happened, that's when like everything clicked into place. I mean, we had a year or two of throwing stuff to the wall and see if it sticks. But then now, like, we have our signature program. We know what we are doing. We know what we are sharing with the audience, with our community.
That's amazing. There are a few things in there that I want to touch base on. You said that you felt like you wanted to do something more. You felt like there was something more out there. What was that experience like for you? And what were you doing at the time? And do you remember a moment where you were just like, because I feel like we all have that moment where it's like, enough is enough. I need to do something. And were you intuitively guided towards a person or a thing? And you were like, okay, something about that feels like the right direction. Because I think a lot of times people are waiting for the answers,
Yeah.
but they're not really paying attention that those things are right in front of them. So
Right.
I just love that. Yeah.
So, I mean, so when I grew up, I actually moved out when I was really young, when I was 16. So when I was 16, I was already in school. I finished high school in school, but I was working 2 jobs because my minimum wage was like $5 right at the time. So working 2 jobs and like just really trying to make it. But even at that moment, it wasn't like bad. Like I don't think I had that calling yet, right? Like it was good. Like, we were struggling, but I've always been more positive side. Like, okay, this happened, but I know something else is going to happen, right? Something good is coming my way. So, but at that moment, when I was like 20 years old in Vegas, we just opened Tao Las Vegas. So I opened Tao, which is like a nightclub and restaurant. And I mean, we were making like $500, $800 a night. Like, that's really good money for a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I don't think I was making that at 20.
Yeah,
I think I was making $4.
yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, it's a lot. It is a lot. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you know, and like I was like partying. I was partying a lot. And I was just feeling like, wow, am I gonna be just here? Like, this is what I'm giving in life, I guess, right? Like, I'm not helping myself. I'm not helping with anybody by going out and partying. Like, what else is there? What else is out there? And then that's when I don't know, I guess I just saw an ad or something for this holistic fair. And like, I went to this like random, like on the side hotel, casino. And I went by myself, and I just like walked around the booth, and I talk about this in my crystal book that's coming out, but everybody was like at the crystals, right? They're like holding it, and they're like, oh, the feeling, the energy, right? And I was like, so I picked one up, and I was like, I don't feel anything. So I was like, okay. And then like I walked around, and then my first teacher, geez, I don't remember her name, but she like came and she's like, hey, come here. So I like went, and she's like, I think you need to work with me. And I'm like, I always say yes. I'm like the fool in the tarot card, right? Like, why not? So I'm like, okay, yes, I'll try it. So I like tried. I know she wasn't scamming me, right? Those people that come up and like, something wrong in your life. No, she didn't say that. She's like, hey, look, I'm really called out to working with you.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm there looking for something, right? She is offering. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And so I like met a lot of people in Vegas, you know, in the magical spiritual community. And I just kind of learned everything that I could. I think at that time I was like, I'm not enough. That was the thing, right? I'm not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to learn all of these things to feel enough. So at a point in my life, that was like the path, right? I'm sure many people have been there, right? I'm not enough, so I need this and need this. I need that certification. I need this.
Girl, that's like my life story. If I did a biography, it'd be like called "I'm Not Enough," and here's all the stuff I did to try to make myself enough.
Exactly. And I think when people are trying to find that alignment, that fulfillment, then, you know, that enlightenment, as they call it, right? They don't feel that they're enough. And maybe this next thing will get me there. Maybe this magical thing will get me there. And so and then this online business came up, right? In the early 2000s, and it was and at that time, it was like, you need to focus on a niche, and spirituality isn't really a niche. So I was like trying to do like makeup or some crap, and I was like, so like it just like kind of, and but I did it, and I didn't like it, so I didn't do it, and then I just kept going. Like, you just have to keep going. And for those of you who are creating a deck or writing a book, that's the same thing. They'll say no, like publisher will say no, but you just have to like keep going, and getting a mentor. I think that's very important. Yeah.
And that's something that I actually wanted to touch base on next, but I want to call out something you just said that I think was really beautiful, because I do feel there are so many ads for coaches and people marketing, especially in business for entrepreneurs, especially in the spiritual space. And people are afraid, like, where do I spend my money? Where do I spend my time? And I think that what you said was really beautiful, that you were searching and someone made the offer, and you just probably felt that alignment. And what's the saying? When the student is ready, the teacher will come. That happens to so many people. And it really is about following your intuition, right? It's about following that. This person feels right to me. If they didn't feel right, then, don't go there. But if we're really in tune, that person is going to feel right. It's going to feel good to take that step. And you're probably immediately going to see that they were meant to be your teacher at that time. Exactly. I love that. And when you're talking about mentors, because that leads into this, you're talking about mentors. Besides that, of course, how did you go about finding your particular mentors and knowing that those are the people that were going to lead you down the next path?
I mean, referrals, right? When you trust someone and they trust another person, then that is most likely the thing that I look for, right? If someone is like, yeah, this person's great, but then I will also go and do my own research, right? I'll like look at them, see if I connect with them. And I know, and it's all about, I think it's all about energy, right? If you are a business owner or entrepreneur, if you have enough energy to hold the space for your clients, and if you're up there with them, then you can attract those clients that you desire. But if your own energy is low, if you're not doing Kundalini, if you're not working on yourself, then your energy is right here. And those are going to be the people that you attract, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, we talk about that all the time on the show, by the way. So everyone's like, yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I've been with a lot of mentors, and I'm not going to say there were bad mentors. Maybe just I wasn't aligned with their belief and their teachings. I mean, I took some of their teachings, right? Everything. It's like all mishmash. But like the main core of their teachings might not would have been was aligned with me. I think everybody is unique and everybody has their own, magical success formula. So you just kind of have to go and try and discover what works for you. What works for you, manifesting your dream job, or that soulmate, whatever. You have to go find out what to put in your day that works for you. So like me and Kristen, we do Kundalini because we know that works for us. She works with Earth Magic because she connects to us. I work with the unicorns. She works with the unicorns, So it just
I work with your unicorns.
You're my unicorn. Okay. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, and you just go find the expert in whatever you are looking for. So, if I'm looking for a health coach, I'm not going to go to me because I'm not a health coach, right? But if I'm looking to work on my spiritual development, to get deeper, to manifest things, to practice magic, tarot, then of course I would go to me, right? So you would go and look at that, the expert in the field. Or whoever you connect with. I mean, there's so much people that you can find on Instagram now, right? And you just have to like go with your own feeling. Like if you like them, go with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really intuition, right? You connect to somebody and you have that vibe, that feeling about them, and that's probably because the two of you are resonating on a similar vibe. Even if they are a teacher and you're a student and you might not be where they're at, they're still resonating at a certain vibe that is calling you in. And I think that's really important to acknowledge. That process is finding your next teacher really is just going out there and searching and trusting. And I want to point that out because I have so many friends that are coaches. I have so many friends that are teachers. I am not a coach, but I created this show specifically for that reason, to have a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of guests, shine the light on them, and then have my tribe here or anyone that's watching on YouTube connect with that person and go work with them. And that, speaking of being called, I mean, I do other things. I'm an author as well, but I was called to do that. And I have to say, it's such an honor to host all of these incredible guests and to watch people say, oh my gosh, I found them. I found my next person, because that is so important. And I hope that I'm trustworthy enough to you guys, because Pamela, of course, is a teacher. She is a coach. And I want to talk about that because I love your program. I love the energy that you put into your group, into your teachings, into all of your videos. Again, we're going to link to her Facebook group. You all have to join. But let's talk about what you teach. High magic. I asked you yesterday, I was like, how can you define high magic to the group for people that might not know the difference between that and any other type of magic?
So in our 30-day course, we really work on practical magic and your energy and your mindset so that you are ready for high magic, right? So typically in like the magical world, if you're talking about like witches or priestesshood, then high magic is when they do like the bigger ceremonial stuff, right? When it's higher magical practices that they're doing. And practical magic is probably what we do, right? What we do every day. We stir that tea. Right? We stir that tea, we make that wish, we create like a spell to help us find our keys, whatever. So that's like practical magic to me. And I think that's a very important. I think practical magic is very important because it's your day-to-day life. When we get into high magic, when we get into the priestess path, which is kind of what we're doing in our certification, is when you intentionally live your life. So you're living intentionally and you're, practicing devotion to your self magic, right? So now that you're really being your authentic self, and then you're realizing, hey, this is who I am. This is how I'm showing up. This is how I'm showing up. And it is a certification because obviously you're getting certified in 6 different modalities, and I will share that. But we tell our students, we really don't want you to come in just for the certification, right? For that piece of paper, because it doesn't really matter. We want you to come in if this is something that you're ready to embody. Like, this is a path. This is the next level path, right? After our 30-day course. And most of them are ready because they're ready for the next thing. And we found that a lot of them actually got inspired to start up their own business, to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So yeah, because they have so much gifts, and they're ready to like share that with everyone. So we're really lucky to have our students. This is actually our first round that is happening right now, and we have some really amazing students in there.
Oh, well, it's the next round of teachers that and that's the beautiful thing is we all learn from our mentors, and then we turn around and we teach. And I believe that that is the spiritual evolution that's happening right now. And I think a lot of times people don't realize that some of what you talked about earlier, and something we talk a lot about on the show, everyone has a story, everyone has a backstory, everyone has a time in their life where they're not happy, where they're suffering, where they're going through something. All of that leads up to what I believe you are meant to teach. That is your firsthand experience, having this human experience and the things you quote unquote went through, so that you can turn around and help others. Right. And so as we learn from our mentors, we learn, and then we turn around and we teach new people as mentors, and the process goes on. And that's how, the children are our future. That's how we teach everyone moving forward. Yes, I absolutely do want you to mention the modalities now. Okay. Here, let's ask that first, and then I'll dive into my next question, because I think I know, and I'm like, wait, do I know?
I don't even know.
You're like, we just started.
Let's see. Okay. So these 6 modalities that Lisa and I have created over Magical Money Tea was something that we use ourselves, and we actually, use it as a tool in our 30-day course to teach our students, right? Mm-hmm. So now they can either do it for themselves, right? Because we have the community level where they're not entrepreneurs, or they can use these tools because it was so powerful to go out and share it with their clients. So the first one is high magic divination. So it's all things divining, right? So we will connect to your intuition, and I really go in deep about your clairs, so how you connect into the intuition. And we just did module 1, so our students were like, wow, I didn't notice, like, that's how I connected. Now it's easier for me to just tap into it intentionally, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of like letting that happen. So you can do it both ways. And there's also, and we just did our cartomancy in module 1, which is the divining of cards. So we worked with tarot cards mostly. And the way that Lisa explains tarot is amazing, right? So she did, of course, we guided them through all the 78 cards, but we also have our practice calls where the students came on and we did a little bit of an exercise, and they went on and read each other. So I think that's so important in courses, be able to practice your craft, right?
Yes.
Be able to, because you're embodying this is who you are, if that's the one that you want to teach. And so we want them to like get out of this being confident, like, hey, I know how to read. So the whole course is set up for them to build on their intuition, to practice with each other, so that at the end they will be, you know, like, hey, I know this, I got this, I'm ready to implement this in my business. The second module is channeling. So this is actually coming up this week. So the lesson drops this week for them, and Lisa will be leading that because she actually channels like the angels, unicorns.
Yes.
You've seen her channeling.
I've seen her reading. It was
Yeah, it's really
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she like kept the secret. Like, I guess it wasn't a secret, but you know, she used to do like big channeling groups, and I guess it got too big that she didn't want to do them anymore because she's more of an introvert. And so it was something actually that she worked on throughout Hi by Witchery, because we do it with you guys. And it was being seen, right? She didn't want to be seen. That's why she stopped. But her channels are so powerful. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're channeling. So the second one is channeling, and she shares with you different ways of channeling, how to channel. It's actually really simple if she just like breaks it down for you. And then we have lunarology, which is a way to work with the moon, but instead of new moon, you know, setting your intentions, full moon, blah, 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 right? It's more of a devotional priestess path. So that's where that comes in, where like the new moon is the dark moon. So we'll be really working on devotion towards the dark goddesses, right? Like Persephone and so on. And so each moon, we will be doing something different, like receiving or gifting. So that's a different way of us working with the moon, because the cycles of the moon really works with our energy. And if you can be in that energy with the moon, then it'll just help you reach your goals faster, right? Then we have, what do we have? EFT, emotional freedom tapping. So
powerful.
technique, we call it tapping, right? So this technique is sort of like acupuncture or acupressure, except that you don't need any of the tools. So what we're doing is we're tapping and saying affirmations on meridian points of your body, of your emotional body, of your physical body, to release and call in the energies that you want. So it is an EFT practitioner certification. So in it's week 5 actually. Week 5, you will be learning how to do this, how to craft your own script for yourself, how to craft scripts for others, and to, you know, help others walk through it. So, and Lisa also teaches you how to do like intuitive tapping. So she just like channels everything, right? But me, I'm like, I need to type this all out before we do it. Yeah. So, so you'll kind of learn both of our ways, and we give you like so much different ways of tuning into your magic, of tapping into your intuition, of activating your magic, because we know that everyone's different. So there is so many different ways. And the next one is Crystal Witch. So that actually goes hand to hand with the book that I'm coming out with Llewellyn. It's about crystal magic. So this will be connecting with the crystal, activating of the crystal grids and stuff, all the magic of crystals. And then last but not least is our Akashic Records Practitioner certification.
Love this.
So we use Akashic Records a lot. And, you know, if you guys don't know, the Akashic realm is a space, it's an actual space where everything that has ever happened in the past, present, or future exists, right? So it's like your collective consciousness, and you can actually go up into the Akashic Records. We use it to rewrite soul contracts. So one of our students said, wow, I didn't realize I was, you know, paying myself so low in this lifetime, right? Like her income contract was really low. So we changed it, right? So you can use it to do that. And what's cool about it, our program, is that Lisa's going to, like, she's kind of like the human resources. She's going to guide us into seeing what our job is, what our purpose is, what your life purpose is in the records. So everybody has like a different job. Like it's really cool.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah, so I'm really excited for that because I have no freaking clue what my job is yet.
Oh,
So
so she hasn't told you yet.
no,
She's
we
like,
haven't.
you have to wait
Yeah,
until week 6 or whatever,
yeah.
or week
So
8. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm really excited for that. Of course, we'll teach them how to tap into the records, come out, guide people, whatnot. But that's the most excited thing. I'm really excited about that. Lisa and I we take the class with them. So whatever, we call it spell work, which is homework, whatever spell work and whatever that we're teaching, we actually do it with them, right?
Yeah.
So I swear, every high vibe witchery that we did, I received a writing contract. Like everyone.
Interesting. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I need to sign up for
Yeah. High
this
vibe witchery.
as
High vibe
I'm writing my
witchery.
book right now. Yes. I mean,
Yes.
it's how amazing. I mean, and there's so much information. There are so many tools that you just went over, which is incredible. So you can be certified in this,
Mm-hmm.
and that means you can actually go out and teach it, which is
Yes.
incredible. But also, you are completely shifting your life. I mean, when you were telling me Monday, about going back into the past lives, we're past lives in the Akashic Records. Like we always think, oh yeah, past lives, there's trauma that happened. We bring all those. We don't realize that we have these stories that are creating the life that we are here living. And I don't want to use the word controlling, but in a way, you're kind of tied to that record. And what is that process? I don't want to give away the secrets, but just touching on it, what is the process of actually going through and rewriting that? I mean, how can you even do that as a human on this level? I'm just completely fascinated by this.
So, so that's what we do in High Vibe Witchery, our 30-day course. So each week you go and rewrite a certain contract, right? Your money contract, your relationship. And it doesn't have to be relationships about love. It can be relationships about you and your business, you and your family, you and your kids, you and your plants, whatever, right? And then the health and well-being, we write that. And what am I missing? Health, blah, blah, blah. Oh, confidence and being seen. So this round, a lot of our students had, something that triggered them when we said powerful, right? Because they thought of a different meaning when that came up. So we really had to go and explore that word and what it really means to you. Why can't you be powerful? Who told you that it was wrong to be powerful? Why can't you be Xena the warrior, whatever she wanted to be, right? Xena the princess warrior, right?
Yeah.
So like, why is it coming up? So we really had to explore that word during the last round. But basically the dragons teaches you how to ignite your flame. And you hold that flame. You don't let the flame go wild, but you let the radiance around the flame grow bigger and bigger. And that's actually the radiance that you attract the things into your life. But let's talk about soul contract because I kind of got offhand.
No, no, this is so,
Yeah.
I'm like taking notes down here. This is great.
Contract. Yeah. So we believe that, coming into this life, we have certain contracts, right? We have certain soul contracts with people, with things, with whatever. So Lisa takes us up to the records and we go into, so we are at the records. We are in that energy. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be in it. And that's why we put it last on our certification. And that's why we do it in high vibe so that everyone is like used to the energy because it is a really high vibrational energy, right? I always get high after I come off of it. So we go into the records and she takes us to our records hall where we have our guides, we have our librarian, and you see, we're visualizing, right? We're doing a meditation and you see your soul contract and you read it and you're like, what the hell did I just write? Right? You're like, what?
By the way, I have every single day I have this conversation with my best friend and we say that every day. We're like, what the hell? Was I high when I wrote this?
Yes.
But literally, I'm glad to see that other people feel the same way. We're like, what was I thinking?
Like, people were really surprised because we all know that our unconscious mind, our subconscious and our conscious mind don't always agree.
Yeah.
But what wins? The subconscious mind like what, 90% of the time. So that's why we go up, and then this changes at an energetic level, at your subconscious mind level, right? So we go up, and then we just literally sit there and write it. And Lisa warns us, you know, be careful with your words, da da da, say this. She guides us through it, and then you sign it, and boom, it's done. But we also really solidify that shift, that energy, by doing the tapping, by doing the, did I already talk about the timeline drop thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we really solidify it by doing the tapping, doing the energy work. And then at the end of that class, that working with that energy, I take them into their timeline, which is your timeline, like your future and past. And we drop your goal. We drop your goal into the timeline, and then you'll see like a ripple effect going out before and after that goal, so that every step you take now is towards that goal because it's already there, if that makes sense.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And how does that work going backwards? Does that clear away the things that, you know, maybe you brought through your past lives, or because it makes so much sense moving forward. Like, yes, I'm completely rewriting and changing my life, and it's going to be different, but how does going backwards work, and how does that participate in this energy?
Yeah, so when we heal ourselves, not only do you heal yourself in the present, you heal the people around you, you heal past lives, you heal people and, you know, your ancestors. Right? So Lisa and I really focus with working on yourself, because when you can work on yourself, then everything else just kind of heals, right? And if I've had experiences where I wasn't with a friend anymore because we just weren't in alignment, which I'm like healing myself, and maybe there's resistance or something, or maybe our lesson was done with each other, but we did like go our separate ways. So that might happen, right? You might, you might just not be connected to people who aren't on the same path as you. And that's okay, because you will meet new people, and you'll have new opportunities, right? But when you heal yourself first, then you can heal your family, you can heal your kids. It changes at that level. You can heal your ancestors, but you have to work on yourself.
That is such a powerful statement, is when you heal yourself, you can heal everyone around you. So two things you mentioned here. One, just to reiterate, because we talk about this all the time on the show, is when you shift in alignment, whether it's down or up or sideways or whatever you want to call it, but when you're shifting your vibration, I think sometimes people go through that spiritual awakening, they tap into their magic, and first of all of your gunk comes up from that you've got to heal. That's number one. But the second thing is that once you do go through that process of healing and you do the work, the world around you adjusts to your new vibration. And I think a lot of times people, that happens while they're going through the work, and they have a feeling of loneliness. They feel like they're in a void. They lost all their friends. And sometimes it's depressing for them. So I love that you're saying that, because that just reiterates that, you know, you're not losing, when you're potentially losing people, but they're no longer in your vibration, and they can no longer really support your life. And you will be gaining people. That's what I think people miss, is you are actually going to attract people that belong in your world. And I think a lot of that is mindset, right? I mean, really, like you said, Buddhists believe. That belief is such a powerful mindset. I want to touch base on that, because I know that that's a big part of your program to start off with. And we talked about that, is how powerful is mindset? How do you work with people? And what kind of things do you see holding people back coming from their thoughts? Our thoughts are so powerful, good or bad.
Yeah. So I think mindset is, so here's the thing though. I think all the elements is essential for shifting. And Lisa and I like to help our students shift 4% at the time, because that's what the angels say. So we shift incrementally 4% at the time, and that creates that quantum shift that everyone's looking for, right? We want that contract now. We want to do this now. We want that quantum shift. But when you're like trying to go for it, then that's like grasping. You're not in the essence, you're not in the frequency of what you really, really are aligned with inside, if that makes sense. So we encourage these 4% shifts. That's why you have to be really intentional, and you have to be really conscious of what you're choosing, what you're saying, what you're doing, and notice these shifts. And we celebrate a lot, right? Because when you celebrate, that creates a positive mindset that changes the energy, and you're noticing stuff, and you're telling the universe, hey, I love this, give me more of it, right? So we celebrate a lot in our groups. I think mindset is super important, but if you just do mindset work, if you just, okay, I'm going to work on my mindset. I'm going to be, affirmation, everything, I'm on it. And then you see this change, right? You see this quantum shift, and suddenly you're there. Mm-hmm. What happens is people can't hold on to it.
Yes.
People can't hold on to it because your energy is not there, right? So your energy also, so you need your energy work. You need that chakra work, right? You need to clear out your auras. So you need tools for that. And that's why we incorporate both. What happens is, have you guys ever heard of like the lotto curse?
No.
Okay. So like people who win the lottery, a lot of times if their energy is not big enough, what happens is they commit suicide, they go bankrupt, right?
Wow. Right? Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah, because they manifested all this money.
Or even like people that become celebrities overnight, or do something and they dive into that world and they're all of a sudden famous. It's like they can't really handle that much space. Handle it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, because you don't have the energetic endurance. Your energy is not big enough to hold your success. But you can have that success. You can hold it. You got to work on it, right? It's easy, but it's not easy work. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's easy to get it, and you have to work on it. So mindset, let's talk about mindset now that you know both ways. You can't just do mindset work, or you can't just like sit there and meditate all the time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you need both. Okay, so mindset. So the brain is so magical, I think, right? And really our subconscious mind is what kind of like drives us to our goals or puts blocks in our ways. And that's why when we shift incrementally and we do visualizations, when we do meditations, then it tricks the brain to see that we're already there, and there's less resistance, like less self-sabotaging beliefs coming our way. So the brain can't tell the difference between a lie and what is real. And so if you're thinking my life sucks, this sucks, I'm so unlucky, then the brain realizes that that's real, and it'll try to do everything to make your reality match what you're thinking.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is even to what you post. So I know Guru Jagat said that your Instagram, your social media is your subconscious mind right there. So what are you posting on your social media, right? Like, are you posting, like, even if it's like, I see a lot of people post like jokes about being broke, and then they're broke, and I'm just like, well, stop, that's your
yeah.
You have to be really conscious about it. And I used to do that. I used to be like FML, F my life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've all been there, so there's no shame. We've all been there.
Yeah, or like, oh, I'm so broke, I can't afford that. But the reality is, if I wanted to afford that $20 thing, I can come up with money to buy it. Right. So for your money mindset people, instead of saying I can't afford that, what I like to say is I choose not to buy that right now. Like, I'm choosing not to buy it. Right. And so mindset is really important. And it's not just doing a 10-minute mantra or affirmation in the morning. Like, what about the other hours of the other 23 minutes and whatever, 23 hours and whatever minutes of the day, right? Like, you can't just do it for a little bit of time and think that you're like totally shifted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what some people do. They're like, okay, I did my morning meditation and the rest of my day is pure chaos.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, but your day is chaos
Yeah.
with,
So
with a break in between.
right. So we have to not, I mean, that's awesome. That 10 minutes is going to be so important to you. But as you go out through your day, if you're thinking other stuff, and it might not be consciously, it might be subconsciously. So what I like to do is, maybe like set an alarm on my phone and like every hour. And then I like to set it like 111, 222, 333.
Yes.
And then I'll look at it. I'll be like, oh, thank you, money. Thank you, holy money. Thank you, divine money. Thank you for being there. Thank you for supporting me. Right? Thank you. So I just like to do that. Like as you go through the day, like remind yourself what you're doing, why you're here, and all of that.
Yes, absolutely. And that, everybody's probably seen The Secret. You've read a lot of manifestation books. And what I love what you just said is that it's gratitude. You really do shift your attitude with gratitude and knowing, because I follow Joe Dispenza, he's so amazing. And that's his thing as well. I mean, I think it's all related. The law of attraction is that when you can see and believe that you already have what you want, like you said, you trick your mind. Your body feels the gratitude and the joy of having that thing. And I think that a lot of people don't realize, I'm going to say this, I understand that this doesn't sound, I was going to say easy, but I know some people are like, it's not easy, but really sitting down and visualizing what you dream about. I mean, how many people do that all of the time, but then they immediately follow it with the thought of, I can't have that. Whereas these processes really do start with sitting down and dreaming and then telling yourself and then saying, thank you because I'm going to have that. That is such a big thing. Oh, I love that.
I just want to add to that easy thing.
Sure.
So like, you doing mindset work, having all these magical tools, connecting to your intuition, doing spells, it doesn't mean that no challenges is going to come your way.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean all of a sudden your life is going to be rainbows all the way, right? But it just means that when these challenges, these issues pop up for you, you'll see them a different way and you'll find the solution to them, which opens you up to a new opportunity for you to move past that, to learn and to do the next thing, on your divine path, whatever that is. And it really, to me, there really isn't like one thing you're supposed to do in this life. I think the one thing we're supposed to do is obviously learn and live life and be happy, right? As much as we can.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many things that we're supposed to do. Like we're not just one, it's multi-dimensional. We're not just like one thing. We're like all these things.
And what I love about that is what you were saying a moment ago is that you can create that energetic space to hold all of those things. So I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed. They're like, okay, I'm doing this, so I can't do, I mean, I know I'm that way. I'm like, okay, I'm writing this book, so I can't also run this and I can't this. And I was like, wait a minute, I just have to shift my energy to be able to hold all of these things and obviously delegate where, when you're talking about physically doing things, you can delegate to a lot of other people. Those things you really don't have to do. But when it comes down to energetically holding the space for that, you can do that by doing the clearing, by doing the work, which I love. So if you were to have, speaking of that, because I'm curious about the process of, again, don't want to give away any secrets that you're teaching, but just we're going to touch on it. Doing the energy work to expand, like say you are teaching, say you get a hold of one of these lottery winners and it's like, okay, you just won the lottery. How could you teach them to expand that energy to be able to hold on to that manifestation that they just brought into their lives?
I think the first thing is they have to be willing to. So like, I don't like to go and convince people that they need to change. Like
exactly. Or say they came to you, right? So that you didn't, we don't like unsolicited advice ever. It's like, just no. But say they came to you and they're like, I heard this video. I watched this Tea and Magick episode. I just won the lottery. I don't want to go broke. What do I do?
So I would say go to high vibe witchery. But you know, it's really about finding balance in all areas of your life and realizing when you're in that moment of the emotion, when you're feeling, you know, that sadness or that anger, you just want to kind of acknowledge it. And that's what we teach them. We would teach them to acknowledge it, but without connecting it to any story, any, you know, oh, I feel this way because in the past my ex-boyfriend did this to me and then my other ex-boyfriend. So we don't want none of that. It's just how you're feeling at the moment, what's coming up for you. So if you really acknowledge that, then, you know, it gets you in the present, and then to alchemize it. So now you want to change this feeling. So what do you want to change it to? You always need to know what is the next step, right? And then we teach them how to alchemize it and then embody it, right? So what I would suggest someone to do literally is to just go to our group Enchant and do the free units, right? So I think the recent one for actually everything going on in the world experience was really related to that. We had the Red Tara Goddess Stomping. So you're literally like stomping the ground, releasing physical, emotional body energy and your mental energy, right? We have the sword slashing from Archangel Michael. As you can see, our exercises that we do are very, it's connected spiritually, but it's also bringing it into reality, because I think that's really important, right? Bringing your thoughts and whatever you're trying to manifest into the physical world, because this is where we live in, right? We have to honor that. We have to respect that. So then we do a lot of that stuff where we combine the two.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought up current events. And you know, I'm not going to get super political here, you guys, but this is a show about magic. Every single week, we bring this up in one way or another, that magic really is the process and transformation of stepping into your personal power so that you can create change in your life and create change in the world around you. And now that we're seeing this world around us fall into chaos, whether it was meant to happen or not, I really do feel that magic is so important, so much more important than it ever has been before, because this is what we show people. It's like, I mean, I know for me personally, I see a lot of people that are not living their highest, are not, you know, and I'm talking about people that are abusing their power. There are people that are writing that is like, do it like you need to, we need change. But these people that are causing the issue, that are abusing power, really have over centuries and centuries, I mean, they've done that to us witches, has been to create systems that make us feel powerless. And I'm sure that you have plenty of students coming to you that feel that oppression in every way. And like, how would you talk to someone about that in terms of magic? Is like, here's how magic can really help you. Not only, you know, I mean, say you took that cop that, you know, did the thing. It's like, how, you know, if that person came to you as a student, it's like, how could I really help this person stand in their power so that they're not doing these things?
Right. So I think it's really that, well, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, maybe that was a really bad
So,
example.
so
More of the people that are feeling the
right.
oppression, you know, it's like, how can we really work with that so that you are rising in your power? And, you know, we're really fighting against
Right.
those broken systems.
I think it's, you know, right now, okay, so like what I talked about earlier, it's really important to acknowledge. So it's really important for us to acknowledge what is happening, like letting people be angry, because people's angry, frustrated, you know, like, and we just like stand with them and we support that, and we are giving, you know, any support, and we just witness, we honor them in our group, right? We let them speak, right? And we just honor that, like whatever they are feeling. So you're acknowledging. And then I think what's happening now is the alchemy. So actions being taken, like things are shifting. And it's like the Tower card, and nobody loves the Tower card, but then
especially on a world level, after the Tower already happened with
like
the pandemic, right?
Yeah, but I think like the veil is like lifting, like now everyone is like seeing all this stuff that wasn't there before. But I think if you are if you know who you are, if you're sure, and yeah, of course I had to question myself throughout this, like, is this, like, I was really indifferent different. But then I was like, oh, and then I was questioning myself, right? And so you just have to ask yourself questions and really work on yourself, and find the leaders that you believe in, that you have the same energy with, and follow them, and just like speak your voice. I know people are saying, post what's aligned to you, right? Like
Yes.
post with what's in alignment to you. You don't have to be posting all this crazy, whatever, but you just post what's in alignment with you, what your voice is. I think that's the most important part. But again, we're not making it about ourselves or our stories, right? We're taking the story out because it's not about us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about the movement. So you just kind of take yourself out, and then you're just there, and you support, and then you witness, and then you honor everyone. And for, those people who, first of all, I don't know if it would be in their lifetime at that moment to work on magic, if you know what I mean, because they're not learning, they just haven't learned compassion yet. They don't know what that means, which is, it's not okay, but that's their life, and we can't control that. We can only control our life, right? Our reality. So you can, like I said, when you work on yourself, it ripples out. So how are you going to hold this energy within you? How are you going to support that? And what actions are you taking, right? Because if we have to take actions in reality also.
Yeah.
So the work that you can do, I know there is a post going out right now that just to hold, I don't know if they're giving out an actual spell, but just to hold this energy and this healing in your rituals, in your prayers, in your, tonight's the full moon, happy full moon.
Yes, happy full moon, lunar eclipse.
Yeah, in your full moon healing,
Yeah.
whatever, like hold the energy for these people, right? For yourself, right? So so I think that post is going out. I'm not too sure. I think you can find it on Instagram though.
Yeah. And by the way, this is something that, my yogi reminded me this morning is during the eclipse, during any eclipse, lunar or solar eclipse, your energy is magnified tenfold. So if it's positive healing energy, or if it's that, Mars square violent energy, whatever it is that you're putting out there right now is going to be magnified times 1,000. So if you are going to do a spell tonight, if you are going to put some prayers out there, this is such a beautiful time to hold that space, because that energy is going to be magnified. And that so many people around the world are holding that space. So what I really love about what you just said, a few things here are that, first of all, like your voice, you don't have to tell your story right now if you're not Black, but what you share is how you're showing up. And I think that's really important, because people are like, oh, how do I share? I'm just sharing links with a heart. I'm like, this is what resonates to me. I'm not adding to it. I don't want to add my opinion to it. I love this story. The picture of George Floyd's daughter. I was like bawling over that. My daddy's saving the world, or changed the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, share heart. That's such a positive message. So that's something to consider, is what is it that you're sharing? You can still share, but do, like you said, share what resonates to you, and don't feel that you have to add to it, because people are already out there sharing their voices.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you said earlier, completely ties back into this, is that when you heal yourself, you can heal others and the world around you. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what's happening right now is inner work. It's all calling us, like you said, I had to check myself. I had to check myself. We've all had to check ourselves. We're all like, wait a minute, what's going on? My yogi said that this morning. An entire room of people were like, wow, you think you're enlightened, but like, I got to check myself. Am I really as enlightened as I am, as I think, and what more could I be doing to grow? And right now, I do believe we are in that process of healing. And that's what I love about you. And I love about your course. I love your energy, by the way. Everyone that's watching this is going to be like, oh my God, she's just a bright, shining light, because you've done the work. You've healed yourself. And that energy is just emanating from this little Zoom video. Everyone can see it. So just remind us one more time. I just want you to be able to speak it, the courses that you've got going on, and the timeline that you have for people if they want to join. And I'm going to include the links for everyone in the description, so you don't have to do that.
Awesome. So I just want to say something really fast before I share
Sure.
that, is that I'm still always healing. I think this path, you know, being a witch, reading tarot, doing your energy work. I think that's always like I'm learning new things all the time. And I think that's why every round we actually do it with our students, because it creates so much change. And obviously we believe in our work. So that's why we do it. So we are opening High Vibe Witchery, which is our 30-day course, in September. And before that, if you want to join us for our 3-day free enchant, you can join that, because we Lisa will channel and then get you prepared for High Vibe. So really preparing you, like for the really newbies, like we prepare you. We don't, you just want you to like jump into it. Right? You're like, ah, yeah. So we have that. And I think we have like a tapping challenge coming up too. Not too sure yet, but High Vibe Witchery is September. And right after that, like a month after that, would be High Magic Practitioner certification. So that would start in November, I believe. But if you join the certification, you get High Vibe for free.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
And certification does have 2 levels. So we have the community level, which gets all the certification. And then we have the business pro level, which if you're building a business, Lisa is going to take you into rooting your business into your chakras, how to align that with your energy. And I come in and do the strategy. So, you know, how to magnify your radiance to attract the clients, how to create like marketable posts, how to like write a post. Your prosperity path is where you take the journey, your clients through a journey, right? Because they have to experience some kind of transformation, and you kind of all want it to line it up.
Yeah.
So I think that's like maybe missing in some programs that I've taken, where it was just like randomly this and that. And like, I'm just like, oh, I don't really know where I'm going.
Yeah. Really need that integration into your actual life. Yeah.
Yeah. So we wanted them, like all our programs kind of fall. And if you don't need High Vibe, you come in certification, that's cool too. We have a couple students this round because they were ready for it.
Yeah.
Right. So we always ask our students before they join, we like money, but before they join, we ask them to like put their hands to their heart and really take a deep breath and like think of the course and if it's for them.
Yes.
Right? Or we tell them to pull a card, right? And we'll tell them if they got like something, we're like, okay, no, next time. Right? Like we really tell them, because we just want you to be in alignment with what you are doing. And it's not because I need this. Like, you don't need my course.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, not only does it need to be in alignment for them, but you want your students to be in alignment with you.
Yes.
So it really goes both ways. And sometimes I know, coaches will have people take the course and then just drop off because it really wasn't right. And then it's kind of frustrating on both ends. So it's like, you really want to build that alignment. Well, can you believe that we're at the end of the show? Yes. I absolutely love you so much. Thank you for being here. I would like to ask you if you have last words of wisdom that you want to share with this group or for anyone that's watching this video about anything.
Yeah. So just like, your magic is already in your magic, your prosperity, your success is already encoded with you. So it's just up to you to like really tap into it, activate it. And you can do so with these magical daily practices, taking my course, taking someone else's course, but you're not calling in magic, right? You're not calling in success. It comes to you because you already have it. So you are already magical.
That is amazing. That needs to be like a t-shirt. However we can get that into a shorter quote. That is so powerful, because I do feel people are constantly searching outside of themselves for magic and thinking it's something they have to learn when it's really in their being. I mean, we were born with it. That is our energy. I love that. Thank you. So beautiful. And thank you guys so much for watching the show. As I said, I'm going to use Pamela Chen. I'm going to be leaving all of her links in the description on Facebook after this, in the description on YouTube if you're watching this later. And if you do want to catch this video live, it is themagickgrove.com, magic with a K. That link's going to be below as well. I hope to see you guys next time. And thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.